Okay, so there's a question here on the comments, and this is a problem if you're going to trade this style of buying low and selling high, with the only criteria being that if it's really down big, you're going to buy big and or bigger than you normally would when I say big, I mean if you put a 200 pip stop in, that's $20 per thousand. So every $1,000 of currency, you're risking $20. Now, for a lot of people, that's a lottery ticket. And if you're trying to make $200 on this trade, and you're risking 200, so you got a 10K in there, and your target's a 10K. Just to make it simple, lottery ticket style. Of course, you're just getting back your money. It's more like a slot machine that pays you off, and then you can go back in and do another round so you can still fight again, so to speak. Now, if you go into the market with a margin, say you put 5 grand in the account, and you tell your broker to set your margin at 50 to 1. United States is killing Europe, apparently. So you're in the States. Now, I guess you're going to run you can run a single account, and first in, first out is going to be a complete fucking burden. From the standpoint that you're going to have to risk a bigger basket to be able to unravel that. And I wouldn't even bother. So I'd have to find a broker that was going to let you do a little bit more complicated things. United States is not forex. Okay, you can't trade forex in the United States. I should have mentioned that a long time ago. Some guy was like, "On what broker are you doing that?" I was like, "You couldn't do that." At fucking Thinker, whatever it's called, Thinker Dim. Uh, you just can't. So forget that. And if you're going to trade the Nasdaq with the scripts inside MT4, you could do that on a forex platform. But yeah, in the States, I don't know. I guess you could, if there's MT4 running in the United States, sure, I could do it. But there's other ones I don't know how to do that other kind of code. So here, the question is, when the market is tanking and I'm loading up with limits, I feel like the market is deep digging in my ass. And so now this is the pain of adding to a loser in either a static grid predetermined sense of laying a basket of tickets for the market to plunge into. And now that's going to become a project, so to speak. It's like 10 songs on the album. You wrote 40 songs and 10 made it on the album, and only 5 of them sound like okay. It's just like real life. I mean, you're not going to, every trade you do is not going to be unfucking believably good. So there's that. So the pain goes away once you accept the fact that this is what you're doing. It's not easy because you're going to go into a drawdown or you're going to lose money. But like I said, if you're going to let the broker manage it for you by setting so you have 10 grand in the account and you set your margin at 50 to 1 or 100 to 1, if you max out your margin constantly, there's no margin available. That's your money manager. Now, if you set your margin to 1,000 to 1 and you got $300 in the account and you want to make it turn into 1,000, you kind of have to really focus. And because you easily destroy the account if your orders are too close together. And to interweave a scalp in there. Now, if you just do a linear grid of tickets, stack them in, and then when the market drops, it's coming into this static grid, and you're like, okay, you know, that's okay. I don't mind that. Um, if your target, if you're going to try to absorb this whole plunge, and of course it's going to go beyond, if it's a 200 pip drop, like the euro drop 200 pips today, 220 from top tick Tommy down to the bottom tick out the low of the week today. How, if you have the 20 pip stop running, you're only going to retain about, if you every 10 pips you're buying, you maybe retain 18 tickets and lose a couple tickets, so you're down 40 bucks. But you know, you're still holding this position. You didn't have to buy the commission back or the spread, so you're actually in a pretty good trade. Now, in my system, I'm going to run risk 16 pips to make 8 pips, risk 14 to make 14, risk 13 to make 26. It's a blend of ratios. I'm not going to just say this is the ratio. 5 to 1. Bullshit. You're not going to make 5 to 1 on some of these trades. They're completely ridiculous trades, and the volatility is so high. It is a horse you'll never be able to ride. It's a bull you can't ride for even a half a second, let alone 8 seconds on a bull. You can't do it. So some of these have to be, okay, I'm going to make 13 pips. I'm going to make 18 pips. I'm going to make 8 pips. I'm going to make, the more diversification, the better. Now, this is where diversification really does pay off. It doesn't so much in hiring people, right? We need an alien. We need a guy with a half a ear. Is anybody with one ear out there? We need somebody to run the the stereo headphone test here. Like, come on, really? Yeah, we're handicap friendly here, you know. Oh, you got one. Oh, you just have one deck, not two. Oh, well then, you know, that's not good. I mean, think about all the do-gooders that banned the fucking freak show. The freaks were fucking making a living finally. But there you go. We're only here to help. My moving average crossover system is what I prefer. So yeah, I do have a problem with that because it's ridiculous. Even if you had that, okay, so you're bullish. Okay, lay buy limits in 2 pips deep, 2 pips apart to fucking China, okay? Call me in the morning. Put an expiration on them though. So make the expiration like, if you're frightened, you know, put an expiration 2 hours, 20 pips deep. So this is like a 10 pips per hour view of the world. 40 pips deep, 4-hour expiration. This would be the 45-degree angle down. But yes, it's no fun. So what can you do about the pain of building a position, a giant swing trade that you know is going to make just a pantload of money, and everything in your head saying, God, if I'd only sold into this thing. Yes, but don't forget, the rate of change on the downside on the euro today is nothing you'd want to try to sell into. It's kind of like a complete panic move. Besides, the market just, there's no support and resistance. When the market's crushing through so-called supports, it's just wiping it out. I mean, it's just complete order imbalance. You're seeing the aftermath of order imbalance, and you can see when it's insane. You go, wait, huh? So crude oil today, and then crude oil today. We'll take a look at. We'll take a cruise around the markets here. So this is my little demo account. I think I'm at a negative $4 in here. So don't judge. This is like, you know, it's like Planet Fitness. This is no judgment zone here. But I'd be selling gold right here. I'd be out of my gold trade. If I was a gold trader, here's the weekly gold chart. And so far the story, the Bitcoin is just absolutely bombastic. This bitch is on fire, but we'll talk about gold here first. This is the famous gold market everybody talks about. Oh, gold this, gold that. I hear ads on the radio. I'm like, you know what, dude? Like I said, I'd rather buy another fucking guitar for $300. I just seen some guy selling a really nice one for $300, a blue one. I haven't had a blue one. Never had a blue guitar. So I'm ready to go, you know. Give me that blue guitar. Little doggy in the window. I'll get for Christmas. Christmas in July. I'm getting ready. Fuck daylight savings time. I'm gonna fucking really get in front of this bitch. So once again, we're in the sell window on the fucking gold market. Look at this thing just keep going from box to box. And as far as this trend indicator here, you could always cherry pick the winners, I guess, if you wanted to. Buy every pullback into the yellow, into this yellow trend. That good old trend. But this is a 3-period moving average. So, sure, for these 2 years, it was brilliant, and everybody loved your robot. They said, "Man, that robot just rules." I think the kids say shit like, "It rules." I'm like, "What rules? There's no rules here, son. You just fucking go for it. Give me that. You want to be a big rooster? Give me that goddamn mouse." But it's how you get in the market. Now, if you're waiting for a pullback, your first buy signal here is pulled back, buy, pulled back, buy, pulled back. I would buy all 3 of those because, hey man, you got like right here we turned right. I mean, this is the crudest indicator in the fucking world, but you know, if you're waiting for these trades, man, these 2 years you were fucking genius. Then things didn't go so well after that. You bought here because you said, well, it's still yeller. And then there was all sorts of shenanigans here. And unless you scalped out of something on that gold trade, like, I don't know if you're thinking this is going to the fucking moon because the end of the world's coming. It's not. How do you know it's not? Because 80% of the time, dude, it's going to do this shit. You got another fucking year of that shit. It's not breaking out of this. Dude, if it ever gets above here, you think people aren't going to dump that shit and buy real estate? It's all fake. It's all fake. It's all so fucking... Dude, you could have $100 trillion deficit. There, I said it. You could have $100 trillion deficit, dude. And guess what? It doesn't fucking matter anymore. Doesn't anybody understand that? People are more afraid of dying from some invisible bug. I mean, Jesus Christ, people. Let go of that goddamn fucking diaper. In the store with the fucking... What's next? Give me a Kevlar helmet, because I'm going to need it, because I'm going to start beating the shit out of you with that mask on. I'm going to need some protection, man. Come on. Step away from that fucking shit. Aren't your ears sore from holding this fucking mask on? Now, if you could get like some type of like... Yeah, just put a jock strap, man. You know what? Maybe I should just go vulgar on that. Sir, we don't allow jock strap masks in here. Huh? What, you judging me? Dude, I just had a sex change. They put the fucking dick in my mouth. So I got just like my nose is a dick now. Have you seen this new surgery? Yeah, it's every time I sneeze, it's like a problem. But 80% of this market, this is a complete bullshit thing. Oh, gold, you know, get something stable there. You know, you can't trust anything. The Bitcoin's rugged. Look at all this fucking bullshit. This thing's not going, it's treading water. Now, if you wanted to write options on this, now we're talking, right? But then you don't want to write the calls here. You get killed. Like, damn it, the trend. So the trend's your friend for 2 fucking years. Then the trend's not your friend. You sell. Okay, maybe you made some money, but look, they come back here. It's just, are you making any money here? No. You buy here, they clobber you. You sell here, they clobber you. See how bullshit that is? So, what's the answer? The answer is to just find a spot and load the fucking wagon preferably in a compressed sense where the deeper it goes, the more you buy, which is even harder than just getting your ass dug by the market filling your tickets, which is brutal. Let's face it, that's no day at the beach, but a day at the beach isn't a day at the beach anymore. They even let you go on the beach anymore? Remember they closed the beaches? Well, there's a virus out there, son. You want to get out there, man? You fucking. I mean, they're fucking. Why do you think the waves causing the waves? This goddamn virus is so big out there. It's that big Corona ball. Remember that thing on TV? Does anybody really can believe that just fucking happened? Did I just miss a movie? I was at the movies. It was in a fucking movie. At the movies. They used to have that on TV at the movies. And no, fuck. You're in the movie. So from just a structural standpoint here, these boxes are important. But are you really waiting for this thing to come down in here? Not me. I would trade this weekly chart pretty aggressively. I'm sorry, monthly chart. So this is fucking 5 years of price. Let me zoom out. You want to see some torture. Let me zoom out. Look at this. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Look at this. This is like, I mean, the ads on the radio, and then they're running this ad now, which is such bullshit. You know, gold took off. Yeah, they're talking about this fucking move here. I love how they cherry pick it. People, it's just such a con job, man. To hear these ads on the radio, I'm like, are you serious? How are people not falling? How are people falling for this shit? They pick this spot here. They pick like this spot here, and they go in the past 5 years. Yeah, dude. But like, okay. Did you buy here? Like, wait a minute. Let me guess. You bought here. Yeah, I bought this pullback here. I'm still holding. I held through this whole crush, and I made back here. Almost got out, but no. Jed said stay in. We made it to here. Yeah, you cherry picked this fucking move. I explain this. You know, the poor guy that. Can you imagine this guy at the end of the year? Well, I'm going to buy some gold. He's all scared. The world's coming to an end. Look, gold's going up. So he chases it or he gets in up here. Top tick Tommy. Another top tick Tommy casualty. The panic buyers up here. Pretty brutal. It is brutal. And, you know, there's no way to... That's as bad as I think. So getting whipsawed like that, I'd rather have the market dig into my limits and possibly put me in a huge drawdown. But like I said, it's unfortunately you have to go against human nature. Otherwise, you're fucked. In other words, if you succumb to the excitement of the bullish or bearishness there and start to think that there's nobody on the other side of the trade. It's this is a genius trade you're in. Just let it ride. Of course, at forex, I would say every 12 hours you have a window, a chance to bail on the trade. You know, start over, reset, go flat at the end of the day. If that's what you want to do. Now, I like to swing trade it for like 2 or 3 days. For the swing trade, I'm going to try to build a position for 1 day or 2 days, or it's going to be 1 day spike. And if it's a hammer day, I want to just beat the hammer. I probably hold something after I scalp out of at least half the tickets I want to scalp out of. So if it's 5 standard lots, I'm going to scalp 2 standard lots off of it, and I'm going to hold the other 3 and then put limits into, if I think that the complete pattern has not played out. In other words, we're going to smash down, but we're going to smash down lower. We're going to do a dead cat bounce in some regard, and I'm going to try to build in. So the art of it is to build the limits into, lace them in between your swing trades so that at least you can be a scalper for the burst moves that you know are probably possible in the rollover from Asia to the London Open, Euro Open, and then you come into and all this drama with bank Swiss or whatever they call it. You know, please, people, this is the same bullshit about Bitcoin. The bank's as solid as it is. I mean, the bank doesn't have anything in deposit anyway. Come on, dude, it's fractional reserve banking, for God's sakes. That's why I say it does not fucking matter. And I know this is just going to be really tough for people to accept, but you got to accept that it does not fucking matter what the interest rate is on this, that, and the other thing. The price of eggs, it does not fucking matter, because you just stop eating the eggs, dude. You're not living in one huge hospital. The world's fucking chaotic. The trade you're in can turn on you like a Doberman and rip your fucking nuts off, or you can wake up and be rich as can be. And if you don't mind the work of trading, then it's no big deal. It's just like you know how to make money, so you know that it's going to take some clicking at least. So you don't. It's not heavy lifting, but it is psychologically difficult because it's dependent on you going against the current. If you're going to build a limit position, you're kind of hoping that the market goes against you just the right amount, just the right sizing, so that you can get the size to be. That's when you're going to either use the broker to manage your how much you can punch the throttle, right? So there's like just a limit to how big a position you're going to have with how much money in the account. So you may not want to scalp out because you're trying to max out this swing trade that we can all see. I hope everybody can see some of these trades that are about to happen, or they're happening right now, and you're like, okay, so where am I in the spectrum of this move? Now, if you're planning to be in the market for 12 hours, 4 hours, 2-hour trades, those are going to be like a little flash crash, 2-hour. It's down 1 hour and it's back up. So you're in that trade. If you're going to build a position from the top of the smash down, and how many tickets do you lay out there? And like I said, if once you run out of margin, it is what it is. And next time you realize you have to space them differently, but then you eventually realize that you have to put them in the little nooks and crannies. When you look back into the, I wouldn't call it market profile, but I'd call it the look back. So I've got an indicator that'll do that for me. It'll do this look back thing here. Let's see if I can find it. It's in my indicators. Okay, I think I call it the void fill. And my computer's gonna overload a little bit here. I think I'm running out of hard disk space. So this, there's a limit right there. So, hey, listen, you don't want to get carried away, right? I hope it's out here. Maybe not. Oh, wait. Yeah, jeez. I got 2 banks indicators. It's always a bummer. You got too much shit in here. So I call it void fill. So it's just a blue line looking back. So when you go to the, say, 4-hour chart in gold, of course the lines are erased now, but we own the current stats on this is going to be, okay, so if you're a breakout trader, You know the trade. And this would be a retail, I suppose they call it, entry technique. You put a buy stop here, you put a sell stop here, and you just walk away. And the stop that you put for this entry, this is the confirmation breakout trade. Okay, so I'm waiting for them to fill me. I'm just a goober fuck. I don't want to decide because, it's just too much pain. And as soon as I get filled, maybe I put a stop in. And it's going to be, say, here. The stop for this entry is going to be like this. Up in the... It's connected to like here. So as soon as you fill this sell side, and then same with this guy, if you could fill down the long side, there'd be a stop here. So that you'd be out of the trade. If you should ricochet in here, which you could, and this is always a real heartbreaker. And that's what they call getting whipsawed. Special term, whipsawed. Your head handed to you. You fill in the blank. As the market is here, and it takes off, and it goes bam, bam, and you just like, oh fuck. So what's the answer? Multiple fucking tickets. That's the answer. Multiple fucking tickets. And that is one of the rules that I use exclusively because I'm trading high res, multi-ticket. Talking tickets you can't fucking... It's just immense amount of tickets. The more tickets, the better. Like in this 4-hour gold chart, once again, my amazing indicator calls every fucking pullback on this. This would be like your trailing stop, I suppose. This is... when you took out this wick, this would have been my entry. It was like, okay, as you're stacking up, I'd run my buy limits below this line, and when it crushed in here, I would have got filled pretty heavily. Pretty nicely, I think, actually. So it's trailing my buy limits, and right here I started getting filled heavy on gold. Right, my technique. If I was a seller, I would have to commit to selling everything above this, and if I didn't scalp these pullbacks, I'd be fucked, right? Because until this trade was the only winner on the sell side, So these pullbacks here are the only, like, so if you sold above this, yeah, you made, and then you have to sell more the higher it goes. So another psychologically almost impossible thing for most people to do. This is the 4-hour chart, and if you realize that this is the trap, so to speak, in other words, the big buyers, so this is the lonely wick. If I'm going to buy these lonely wicks, everything below here, I'm going to load up here, load up bigger, big, and the biggest, and then all the way down. This is where you just, like I said, if you run out of margin there, then the account wasn't big enough because you really need to be buying that plunge. And it's just, there really isn't anything more painful than that, in the sense that you figured, well, sure, this is just a fake out move, and that's going to reverse, really. That can't last. And you'd be saying that because when you look back to if you condense this is the 4-hour chart, you'd say, well, holy shit, that is such a tremendous crush that you just have to go like, wow, I was buying below here thinking, yeah, man, sure, I'll buy that. But here's the other big key, is that the rate of change is very critical. So I don't just buy on limits. I do have to buy at the market. And I just hate to buy at the market, but because I feel like I want to get my limits in just right. Goldilocks, just the right temperature and the right size. But unfortunately, the market is so different every time. Sure, the pattern's the same, but the size of the pattern fluctuates, and I don't think that's ever the same size. or the same amount of trading volume, or the same time of the day, or the same news event, or the same year, and every year is going to be different from here on in the future, so most robots will never successfully trade this shit. Only a team of robots could trade it. There's not one robot. So the at the market bot would have been, so I'm talking about um, a market bot that's going to buy, if the market's down 200 pips in an hour, he buys. If it's down 400 pips in an hour, there's a robot that's going to do that trade. Or there's a trigger, you know. I'm just going to call that a robot, that single purpose robot. And that's when you're talking, you have 100 robots, and each one has a unique criteria. And not every robot's trading because some of the criteria is so outlandish that it only happens once in a while. But that's a trade I'm going to do as a human because I'm like, holy shit, what did these guys do to this fucking... Well, you know, there's not enough money. Dude, nobody fucking cares anymore. Hasn't anybody got that in their fucking head yet? Like, I've heard another fucking... some pussy talking about, well, you know what, you just gotta buy gold because it's the only thing you can count on. Dude, try to sell your fucking gold. Have you checked the spread on that shit? Well, a lot of guys, you know, go to the pawn shop, dude. It's not that much money. You think to tell me there's not fine print this? Oh, you want to sell your gold coins? Well, everybody's selling their gold coins now. Yeah, because the market, if it goes above 2,500, you think people aren't getting the fuck out of that and going to go buy something they can use? Buy themselves a bunch of bullets for their guns and shit. You can come kill me now. I'm over it. How do people are so afraid to die? I think my body's afraid to die. I think it's got its own survival. You know, it's involuntary shit going on, I suppose. It's hard to hold your breath and die. I tried that when I was a kid. I was so frustrated. I was so pissed off. I'll just hold my breath, pass out. No, it didn't even work. So we're stuck in this fucking trade of life. And I would say it's the same mindset as having the market go against you. Is you go out on a rainy day and, you know, with your new white pants on and some guy drives by and hits a puddle in front of you. So there's always something bad happening. There's always some kind of bad thing. But if you're an ambulance chaser, you know, you want bad shit to happen. So I feel like an ambulance chaser on these trades. Like, it's so hard psychologically to do these trades because you just know that you should be buying down here. And you're just like, yeah, I know I should. I'm going underwater, like below this. Holy shit. Now this would be the scalp. If you had started, I would pick the closing prices just so you can buy more. So I wouldn't be so cheap as just to buy the wicks. I would put my limits below the closing prices. I'm going to buy here. I'm going to buy here. I'm really going to buy here. I'm going to buy here. It's just easier. Because otherwise you're like, well, which wick? I would pick either the lonely wick or the close down here. So here's the lonely wick. And so this window here. Now you're going to get crushed on that, right? You're going to get crushed on. Maybe there's a scalp in there on the 5 minute. So the big picture traders that rarely get filled, you know, the people that would hand place orders up here, or your robot that is looking for high drama. So the high drama at the market bot says, okay, he's getting filled on limits. He's blowing up his account. But even to make it worse for you, so now you're really going to lay into this puppy, and you're gonna say, now I'm going to double down on this bitch. I'm going to buy at the market, or my market bots are going to come in for me. My limit bots would have placed limits in here, I guess, if they know how to stack them up. Or like, the other thing, don't forget, is that if you did put orders down here, they're probably going to have an expiration of, well, I guess it has to be all week. Here's a week from here to here, so. But if they only last for, even here, if your tickets only last for, oh gosh, 4 hours, they're already gone. Now, if you're throwing the tickets in front of the market here and they last for 4 hours, then, it's different. Plus, you're not even really getting filled up here unless you did buy some of that. But here was the scalp, I guess, right? If you bought this first closing valley, you buy everything below that, so that this is just something you have to commit to. If you say, I'm going to buy everything below here, that closing price, then you could have, if you could have rode it to here, you could have scalped up. The other thing is, if you took this trend trade, now here's the argument for, well, I bought your system, the 3-period moving average, and it's working out great. This rally into the blue, I sold that into the trend color, and, I just did that. Of course, here I got my ass kicked. I sold that, and I'm like, oh, geez, that didn't quite work out. So that's why all systems, now here you would say, this is the best trading system I've ever seen. I sold here, I sold here, I sold here. I sold all these fucking sells into the blue. I sold here. I really sold a lot there. But hopefully you're cashing out every time it fills this void, because here comes the big buyers, the limit buyers. They're going to buy heavy, 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 and they're going to buy super fucking heavy below that. Now this is the big, I'm talking about the winning traders. They're going to buy heavy below here, but they still got to get out of something, because guess what? It went lower. So it's very difficult for most people to start buying below the last week's low and keep buying and buying, and then on Friday it's down, and it even goes a little lower on Monday. Coming into Monday, people are like, holy shit. That's $1,800 on gold. If you're trying to make $100 on gold, you really want to get in there. Right, so that's the other situation. It's so difficult because what do you do here? It's blue, you're going to sell. I would say if you're going to do these kind of indicators, go to the 8-hour chart. I don't have an 8-hour chart here, but I'm not going to bother, because this trade, you would have missed this beautiful trade here. That's why we use a 6-hour chart. So that's the only thing, I guess, MetaTraders 5 is good for, is all the crazy time frames, But those are the time frames the scripts run, so I guess you can visualize what is the expiration of these tickets, by the way. So if they last all day, you just barely get filled in here on the sell side, selling new highs, buying new lows. It is difficult, though. So I'm trading with a 75 pip stop as my widest stop to make 150 pips. Now that is my pull the trigger. If I see the market dropping like a horror, and I'm in my car or I'm sleeping and I wake up and I'm like, holy shit, what is going on here? I'm gonna start getting in, and it becomes a hairy trade. The ability to scalp out of something is the tough part, because when you do see one of these moves, you think, holy shit, this is like gonna be, if this thing goes full auction, you just took out the low of last week. What if it takes out the high of last week and does this? At the end of the week, you've got a giant pin bar, as they say, pin bar. Yeah, this big pin. So big wicks, and that's price action, and that thing's like, it's exploded, it's over. Now what? It consolidates. Does it follow through though, or does it come back? Does it go sideways? 80% of the time it's sideways. It's choppy. It's a fucking mess. Alright, so I'm done beating up this chart. I could go on forever, but let's go to the Bitcoin because it's just too fascinating. Bitcoin weekly chart. Wow, what a fucking ride. Look at this son of a bitch. So I marked off all the important boxes using closing price as my support resistance thing. And these are classic trades. It's amazing how Bitcoin is just utterly fascinating because it's a fresh 24/7 fucking market. It is the ultimate in crowd examination of the crowd and just how the market just gets so under pressure and then explodes. And it's so rambunctious here, that big pullback, and everybody's shitting their pants because, oh no, this bank was invested in giant Bitcoin dildos. And yeah, it's one of those fucking, what the kids call them? NFT dildos. So yeah, this particular dildo is like, the shape. It's all about the shape, see? It's a 3D fucking QR code is what the fuck it is. Yeah, you need a reader scanner or a 3D scanner to fucking pick up the code again. Get the right address. I just sent you over some Bitcoins there to buy a new car. But look at the Wick City on this puppy. Oof. That was some crazy shit. Now those are great limit trades, but you still had to wait for those trades too. It's all quiet here. Coming into the new year, it's a new dawn in Bitcoin. Oh, this is such a bad thing to have Bitcoin down here. Oh, well, who's going to buy Bitcoin down here at the bottom? Fucking things at 16,000. Look at that son of a bitch on the daily. Oh. So here's the rip. Now, the guy that's buying down here, man, that's pure fucking balls. Below that close, accumulate this thing for fucking 2 months, and then rip. And then here's the big target is the box in here. So if you look at the wicks or even the closing prices up in here, this is the big ass exchange window. And this was definitely the a deep pullback, and that would have just freaked people out. I got to understand that when the market's dropping like this, people are shitting their pants. And I would put in some acceptable wide stops here and start buying everything below this for sure. And if I didn't scalp out of something, you gotta buy below here, or you're just a fucking, you don't understand it. You just don't get it. Like, you gotta buy the low of last month. You have to. That is the dumbest. But people here are shitting their pants. As soon as it breaks out, they're like, oh God, it's so painful. And you gotta buy really big below this. Right. And you just gotta keep buying. It is brutal, but it pays off because this did go full auction. It wrapped around the previous day and everything. So that's amazing. That's the trade you're looking for. You don't think it'll happen, but it fucking does. It's amazing. So that's the hardest thing to do in the world, because if you've seen these trades before, when they take out the low of the previous month, in any instrument really, and the rate of drop here too, the robots that are going to buy because it's down like, $100 here, $1,000 in one day underneath the floor. Hell, people are scalping it to the floor. But if it can take out the high of the previous month, and this becomes the pin bar on the monthly chart, and that is some out of control price action. But there was so many ways to trade that. If you were shorting above the high of the previous month, it took out the low of, well, here it didn't take out the low of the previous month down here. But this was an exquisite exit. I guess you could be the. There's not even a chance to get on this train until here. The only pullback. This is straight, just absolutely out of your fucking mind. The beginning of the year. And what are the people saying? Bitcoin, man. Human trafficking. That guy was paying the guy. Yeah, so, oh my gosh. It's so terrible. What a terrible world. What a scary place. But yeah, it's not easy. No. If it was that easy, everybody do it, right? So not only people, and imagine the guy buying here going, "Oh, I did what you said. I put buy limits in here." Yeah, no, but dude, it went lower. Like you got to be prepared. I'm saying, the style of buying low and selling high to me is a completely well all or nothing thing. I guess you could say. I mean, I would say if I'm gonna if I feel like oh I want to sell, it's all about selling. If I'm gonna buy. I'll be like, okay, that's a nice little drop there. Okay, and then hopefully I'm making some kind of money on these dead cat bounces. So I'm making 16 pips, 20 pips. Now when the market goes on fire, gotta move those targets up 80 pips now. Maybe you gotta wait 3 days. Or maybe you gotta wait a fucking year. But I'm not gonna wait that long. So really, what is the? How do you deal with it? I'd say it's easier to put in a stack of 100 tickets, a standard lot, and maybe only about 30K fill, let's say. And you got, you know, 100 pip stop on that, $10. And your 50 pip tick profits, so you actually have a bad ratio. If you know the frequency of drop, if you don't mind dropping this, but you're not always going to even make your 50 pips, but you probably won't get stopped out of these trades. And what's the expiration time on those tickets? And once you figure that out, it's going to work around your lifestyle. Do you sleep 8 hours in a row or 4 hours in a row? Do you want to refresh the market with your tickets every 4 hours or have the robot do it for you to wake up going, oh, this robot got in a couple tickets here. It's not the best trade in the world. I would have preferred but I'm not going to sit here and build robots that do that shit when I can just look at the market and go, oh, this just click on this buy order. You know, yeah, I think I can handle this. I mean, wow, I got the sore thumb from clicking. Gonna callus on my thumb here. But I can see this is going to be, this will be or the trade doesn't work out. Like I said, there's not enough money in the account. But I'm never going to run a moving average. I'm never going to. Sure, I can see it. I can see the so-called trend, I guess. I'm probably already in the market when I'm looking at this stuff. I always like to be in some kind of trade. Otherwise, I just don't feel alive. It's kind of like, yeah, you just get used to the punishment, I guess. So you kind of want to have something in the background there. Oh, look, I'm in a little trade here. And then, you might find yourself in a winning trade for no apparent reason, or a losing trade. If you wait long enough, the market's probably going to either go up or down. So you could find yourself up on a trade and be like, huh, this is easy. I got this. Hey, this is working out great. Fucking great thing. And if you feel like the market's going up or down, or you say, oh, the market looks like it wants to go up, that's just you saying, I think it's going up. So people want permission to do these trades, so they come up with all sorts of crazy schemes of Gartley patterns and what have you, moving averages. But if you're in, you're in. And the next thing is, how big are you in? Is this just a one-night stand, or are you going to get married and make babies? So I'm actually gonna get married and make babies with most of these trades. Hopefully, the babies there's money. But I'm kind of a slut, I suppose. I'm gonna get into a lot of trades, and some of them aren't gonna work out. But when you get callous to the fact that you're in these fucking trades, whether they're at the market, you're waiting to get paid because you're like, yeah, the final destination of this trade should be up here somewhere, and if we could just survive this swing here, take something off the table, reload a couple tickets. I mean, if you're good at it and you're nimble and you can dump, reload, because if you don't want to dump anything, you're going to be a giant swing trader with 300 pip stops, and you're going to have to endure days of. See, that would be very difficult to not at least take 50 pips. If you're trying to make 500 pips, I don't know how people resist making at least 50 pips. So it'd be dynamic sizing, the constant sizing. The sizing's always changing based on what's going on. Ideally, you have systems that can trade fast, deep markets, and systems that trade shallow, friendly, low volatility, where you can run a tight stop and you can run big size, because in the end, other than the slippage or commissions and all that commissions, the spread, slippage, which occurs only when you're getting filled or cashed out. Even I suppose there's slippage on your targets. I don't really pay attention. I trust the brokers. I don't care if they're fucking me. I don't really care, because I can see that I'm cashing out of these tickets. Now I'm not gonna crack it open and go, oh, look at, they got slippage here. I don't even know people talking about slippage. Dude, it's like buying a car thinking, well, I don't want to wear the tires out. Yeah, good luck. Keep up with these motherfuckers out here. Like, in certain areas, do people do it like fucking, just because the speed limit's 75 doesn't mean you should do 90. Don't tell them that. But I feel like that when the market is, I'm in a big position and the market goes against me, I'm like, Jesus, I guess I have too much on this truck. I feel like one of these guys on these suicide trucks delivering. I saw a guy with a big tanker. I thought that's going to be tough if he smashes that. That'd probably be some hazard event. Yeah, what is with people, man? I mean, is the world coming apart, or are we just paying attention to it more? Have people been smashing stuff up like this for a while? I know people are doing stuff like killing their family and then killing themselves. That's always a real fucking trip. Where does that land on your fucking things to do list in the morning? Like, see, I'm put on a forex trade, but then in the afternoon, what I want to do is take out my whole family with this fucking fresh gun I just got, because I didn't go to the gun range, but I think I think I can get close enough to my wife to take her out. So I'm not going to go to the range or nothing. I'm on a budget too, don't forget. And I'm going to kill myself when I'm done with this thing, don't forget. Let me just, or use a knife, come on. It's not like if you outlaw guns, outlaws aren't going to hook up the guns. It's just like outlaw trading. You think people aren't going to fucking do it on a ham radio? Like, I'm sending you some bitcoins on my ham radio. Sent you the fucking, I sent you the QR code in Morse code. So I hope you're writing this down. Yeah, but this is some crazy times here, man. So this bank's all loaded up with, dude, it doesn't matter. It's so cute. People are fucking coming on wrapped. There's $1 trillion, dude. Don't talk zillions. I'm not. Even if you were $500 zillion in debt, it doesn't matter, because you're still alive to complain about it. And unless you have ass cancer, unless you're wrapped up in, like, do you think somebody that's just got in a car crash is thinking, The deficit's like, man, I'm gonna buy some gold when I get home. Are you fucking nuts? So if you are alive and you can think about how nice it'd be to hoard some gold, because I'm so afraid that the economy's gonna crash, and I don't know. Isn't it always crashing? Isn't the world always coming to a fucking end? I can't think of a time in space. When you look back into the news headlines, don't forget Watergate. Of course, everything's a gate because of that. So that was like, people were like, oh my God, no, really? But that's really just a production of news. That's when news became like a thing. They ran hearings. I remember watching I think I almost died of a heart attack eating. It was in the summertime, and I was coming home from school, and I'd watch the Watergate hearings, and I thought, man, this is so cool. Like, these guys seem like they're really onto something, but I could never get my brain around, like, what is the point? Like, what is somebody going to go, look at this? It was all about, okay, I've listened to what you've said, but here's what I have to say. It was just like this big, hard to put your finger on what was really going on there. And now, people are pulling the trigger on trades based on this stuff, like, yeah, that bank's insolvent. They're all insolvent. Are you fucking, what are you, stupid? Try going to the bank and getting all your money out. Any day of the week. Dude, I don't care how the banks could be healthy as a horse. They could be fucking just like, wow, this is the biggest fucking bank in the world. We got so much on deposit. Not everybody can show up and take their money. They got fucking five. I think in 1980 they went from 10% on deposit to 5. Think about that, 5. So are you telling me there's 5% on deposit? People want to come get their money? They're gonna go, get the fuck out of here. You get your money. What, do you look like a bank? Good luck, mister. We got all our risk capital in there. As long as we put that money on deposit there, because it was like fucking payola. We want you to do something for us. Come on, man. Come on. You know. I'm a member of the tribe here. You go hook us up, man. Don't forget to hook me up with your buddy there. Guido's gonna get me a fucking deal. Get that solar electric car you can only drive when it's really fucking sunny out. It drives better in the summer too, because it's lighter, longer. That new solar car. I only drive it to the beach, and hopefully it doesn't get cloudy on the way home. But I'm good. As long as I can trade MT4, is there like a way I could hook my MT4 up to the satellite dish? I mean, the solar panel. Wait for that sunspot to come in. I like to capture the sunspots. I got this new rig that actually, when the sunspots spike, solar flares actually captures solar flares for a little extra edge. I'm thinking of just putting a solar panel. I don't know if this is going to work out. I'll see if I get a patent first, but so I'm giving away an idea here, but I'm thinking maybe solar panel on the sun. And seeing as how it's so fucking light up there, that it's not going to matter if we run like a long wire back from the sun, because it'll make up for it. We'll just get really thick gauge. Go down to Home Depot here. I see they wire like $300 for like 100 feet. I get a couple of those and twist them together. Yeah, that's the ticket. We'll do that. That should work out. But it does look like Bitcoin's poised for another rally here. I don't think it's going to make it to $1 million, people. So don't do anything stupid. I still think in the long run that the prognosis for Bitcoin is sideways forever. You'll never see 60 grand as long as you live, as long as I live, as long as a fucking 8-year-old that lives to 100 lives. If you're an 8-year-old watching my video, I think I have this thing set for no young kids. Because, you know, we don't want to go to fucking obscene jail. Put you in prison for being obscene. That's in the scripts here. Yeah, so the indicators, I only put those up because people say, hey, what about this indicator? What about this guy? There was a guy I saw trading. Like I said, man, I don't trade really like anybody else. Nobody really should trade like anybody else because there's so many ways to do it. If you like to wait for a setup or your moving average to go crossover, well then, you know, you're going to have to wait for that trade. I'd say I don't have the patience for that. And I'm not in denial of that fact. I've accepted the fact I have no fucking patience and I'm just pissed off most of the time. Not pissed off, irritated. Just people, you know, just people are just, it's people wearing the masks. Let me be honest with you. I like that guy in New York. Hey, you know what? Could you guys stop wearing masks? When you're going to rob us, you leave the mask at home when you're robbing my store, please. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. There's a public service announcement. Now they got this fucking cunt on the goddamn radio from the chick that was Martha Stewart fucking trying to sell me a fucking vaccine now. And she comes on twice. This is leftover scary bug money. And it's still making its way through the advertising budgets of these radio stations, and I'm just tired of it. Somebody just put a stop to it. So we do need to do something about that. It's on my checklist. It's also on the bucket list to clean things up before I leave the planet, you know, to take care of stuff. Nobody's going to do it but me. I only have myself to blame for these trades I get into. But if you were a big buyer below this lonely wick, you're hoping it comes back to you, you can get out. This is the psychology for people getting out here. Bitcoin will have a big fucking problem with that price. But the guy that was waiting for the pullback, I think he should have bought this pullback, which would have been the most exquisite pullback of your 618 career, is buying right here on this juicy. So having a pack of buy limits here, and you would have made yourself a nice clean $5,000. But of course, cashing out above this, the shorts come in. But then again, buy limits here. So my approach is always going to be put the buy limits in, see if they fill them. If they don't fill them, I start buying at the market every, whatever the rate of change is, a drop there. So whatever that rate happens to be. And it's going to be different for every market every time. And across all markets, wouldn't try to trade the British pound. I wouldn't try to trade that guppy with a tight stop. That'd be pointless because I couldn't build a position. But this would cost you a fucking lot of money. I got the robot still running in here. He still runs. There's no money in the account, but he's still trying to buy and sell. So this would have been a symmetrical bot. And I don't know what the expiration are on these tickets. That's why I really don't run the robots. I should turn them off. Let me just get rid of them. So let's clean up the chart. Clean up aisle 5. So this guppy, pretty tough sledding here. If I put up a 100 pip grid, you're gonna just see just how brutal. But of course, on the other hand, if you're trying to make money, if you're trying to make 100 pips, you're like, oh, it looks like a great target. I get my grids out here. Oh, jeez. Computer's slow. I got something in the background taking up my processing. Okay, we'll put a 200 pip grid in because it is such an insane market. Okay, it's not working. Oh, this is just too big of a handle here. Put this on top. This is like just the lines. So it's 200 pips. I somehow fucked up that indicator. I was experimenting with different colors and I think oof. So that's 200 pips in the guppy. That's tremendous. So this is 600 pip move, almost, from stem to stern. So you really have to look for these tickets. I would run like a script like this. I've actually got something like for that. If I go to this forex. Okay, there's NASDAQ. A single drop. Here, 50 pips stop to make 80 pips. See, just put your tickets in like this. You're just waiting for it to fill. Waiting for a tick to come in for these even drop. There's nobody trading this. So here's like 2-hour expiration. The probability of getting filled here is so low. And this is the other secret, is that it's about the probability. And I think I can make it down here in a week. There's the daily chart. So the trade is different on the 4-hour chart. If you're trying to make 200 pips, you'd be a heavy buyer down in this box. So you just build a box here and commit to buying this 200 pip window. Market crushes below the previous week. You buy like a whore, or you buy because it's really down hard in 4 hours. And just let her rip. Take half the position off at the floor, let the rest go. It doesn't quite top tick Tommy, this one, though, but it comes fucking close. On close, it does get up there. So there's that. So these all matter, you know. Of course, you got to jump on these things and you got to get in these trades. If you really want to, especially if you don't have, if your broker's managing your margin. You want to be in the market, I suppose, using whatever size you like to be in. Pick a size. I just go with it. And you figure out what, you know, you don't have to do it. You know, it's like, look at this thing, top tick Tommy the week, and then kaplunk, look at that. So that's the obvious trade, I think. Waiting for it to take out the high of the week. And then slams down, takes out the low of the week. Then it takes out the high of the previous week by just about 1 pip up here, it looks like. And it takes out the low. So if the scenario is it's going to come down, pick me up, and then go back up, I got to cash out of something on that. Otherwise, if I'm wrong, or I have enough money to come back in with the limits all over again. But it's certainly, the harder you work, the less you risk because you're putting all these tickets in. And some have wide stops. Like here's risk 200 to make 120 pips. That's crazy. But that's that. That's what we do. So we're buying the euro tonight. I'm looking for the euro to take out the high of the week. Took out the low of the previous week. Now it's going to take out the high of the week. That's my trade. I'm sticking to it.